David Paich has never made a secret of the fact that he's a huge, like me, Elton John fan. He really likes Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. We talked about Love Lies Bleeding, Funeral for a Friend, the intro, and a lot more with Elton John in this clip. By the way, you must have been a fan of, before we get to the album segment, a fan of Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding. I mean, the way that comes in.
Of which one?
Elton's Love Lies Bleeding, Funeral for a Friend.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's a typical textbook example of where I'm at. You know what I mean? As far as that intro, where I think it was Albione, he kind of was inspired by to write that first piece, which is Funeral for a Friend, and then my friend Davey Johnston came up with the riff on Love Lies Bleeding. So that was such a great album. I remember when it came out, I just wore it out. The Yellow Brick Road album.
Was there an Elton John release that you played on that you weren't credited on? Some fan wanted me to ask you that.
I don't think so. I did only a couple things with Elton. There was a song called Nobody Wins, and I'm not sure which album that's on. But I also played on a B-side. He had a B-side that I played on, and I forget what the name was. It was called White something.
White Lightning? No, that was a single. That was I think that's the Fox you're thinking about. Nobody Wins, I think, was from the Fox.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did this B-side anyway, and I'd been listening to Procol Harum on the way to the session. I was a huge fan and hugely influenced by Matthew Fisher with Procol Harum because I was supposed to play organ on this. So I went into this mode, and it was kind of churchy sounding, sounded like a hymn with rock and roll beat to it. So I started playing a little Matthew Fisher-esque play in my church kind of playing. And Elton just stopped the tape and said, Hamburg, Procol Harum song. It just busted me right in the middle of it. It's got great ears, you know?
Well, tell me about that tune, Spirit of the Moonrise.
That was...
nice rocker.
Yeah, a rocker. I had a bunch of these pieces that I've been writing. One was the guitar riff that opens the song. Then there's the chorus guitar riff. Then I wrote the middle sections for the piano right there. And I had these pieces, and Tip Joseph, who heard all the pieces, said, "Let me try an arrangement on this." So he did an ABC, a little form thing on it, and that was the form that we ended up with on the record right there. And then him and I told him I had the line, "Saw it in a dream. A girl rides across her native land," and that's what I had. And Joe and I got together and constructed a short narrative about what we thought this dream could possibly mean and stuff. And again, it was his. Joe did a great drum track on it, which we used on the record. And I'm using still with regular people like Shannon Forrest plays the bass drum to the set. That's a sampled set there. And I also brought Mike McDonald in on it because I wanted to have him on this album here. He's such a good friend, and he's such an effective, iconic singer, you know. And when you hear his voice, and that was it, you know. We started working on it and painting it, and Joe, we'd bring in harmonies. Then we got to, once you have the blueprint for it, you get to paint it and try experiments on it and do harmony parts and do little guitar parts and stuff like that. The trick is not getting it overproduced. That's really hard when you know how to do it well. You know what I mean? How you know how to craft it. You resist the temptation to put stuff on. That's why the Beatles records sound so good, because George Martin was there and limited their options. You know, instead of putting all of them in, although there are a few that have everything in the kitchen sink, like I Am the Walrus and Magical Mystery Tour, which are like two of my favorite cuts. By the way, Madman is my favorite album. It's got to be, you know what I mean? With Paul Buckmaster, Davey Johnson, first one he played on. Yeah, absolutely.
When I interviewed Bruce Hornsby, and God knows I don't know why I can't get the guy anymore. I've interviewed him in person, but anyway, Bruce just did Madman Across Water from that covers album years ago.
Oh, did he really?
I think, and he did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
But I asked him, I said, "So is Madman your favorite album?" And he said, "No. He's Tumbleweed Connection's my favorite album." But he said Madman, he loved the fact that it was Elton pulled off the ultimate ominous vibe on that song.
That's right.
Incoming doom, like what's going on here?
Absolutely. He had that darkness, that Jimmy Page darkness that Zeppelin had a little bit there, you know what I mean? Of this just impending danger, you know?
Yeah.
And, but that was an amazing album.
You know, Indian Sunset made me cry when I was 13.
Oh, me too. Me too. I wore that. So I wore many of those albums out. You know, I thought that would just change my life. The first Elton John album and that second one, Madman, just were life changers to me. You know, That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be Elton John when I was a junior in high school.
Oh, you did okay. You did.
Oh, well, thank you. But, you know, I'm just happy that Elton, when we won Record of the Year for Rosanna, Elton was the first person in the audience to stand up and give us applause. And that means more to me than all the billions of streams you can possibly get, you know?
Yeah. We'll have more from David Paich coming up the next few days. If you want to have access to the clips early, join our Patreon. Links in the description of this video. Also, if you want to help the channel, there are links to our PayPal as well. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Music. Take care of yourself.